The king of the desktops might finally be coming home. If you have been holding onto your wallet, waiting for the return of the big, beautiful, all-in-one Mac, you are not alone, and it looks like your patience is finally about to pay off in a massive way. We are talking about the potential return of the iMac Pro, a machine that has been a ghost in Apple's lineup for years. But new leaks suggest it is rising from the grave with specs that are frankly terrifying. We're looking at a machine that could redefine the entire creative workspace, but there's a catch, and it has everything to do with when it is coming and how much it is going to hurt your bank account. Let's rewind for a second to understand why this is such a big deal, because the context here matters. The last time we saw a proper large-screen iMac was way back in August 2020. That machine was the end of an era, literally one of the last Mohicans running on an Intel chip. It was a beloved computer. Photographers loved it, video editors loved it, and it sat on desks in studios all over the world. But then, the Apple Silicon Revolution happened. We got the M1 chip, and about 6 or 7 months later, Apple gave us the 24-inch iMac. It was colorful, it was thin, and it was fun, but let's be honest, it was a consumer toy compared to the 27-inch beast we were used to. It had a smaller screen, fewer ports, and it just didn't scratch that itch for the pro users. We all sat there waiting. We thought, surely, a 27-inch M1 or M2 version is right around the corner. But we waited a year. Nothing. We waited 2 years. Still nothing. Instead of a big iMac, Apple gave us the Mac Studio and the Studio Display. Now, don't get me wrong, the Mac Studio is a powerhouse. It is basically a Mac Mini on steroids, and when you pair it with the Studio Display, you get a great setup. But it is clunky compared to the elegance of an all-in-one. You have cables, you have 2 separate power cords, and you lose that magical floating screen aesthetic that made the iMac iconic. For years, Apple stayed silent, and they even hinted that they were done with the 27-inch form factor entirely. It felt like the dream was dead. But recently, the rumor mill has exploded. There's been code leaked, actual digital footprints, suggesting that Apple is deep in development of a brand new iMac. And this isn't just a spec bump for the colorful 24-inch model. This is the big one. We're looking at a release potentially in 2026, and the heart of this machine is rumored to be the M5 Max chipset. This is huge news because it confirms that Apple hasn't abandoned the pro-level all-in-one market. They were just biding their time to make something that could handle the heat. Now, let's talk about the screen because that is the single most important part of an iMac. The leaks suggest that Apple is not going back to 27 inches. That size is officially considered too small for the modern pro workflow. Instead, we are hearing strong rumors about a 30-inch or even a 32-inch display. This aligns perfectly with the Pro Display XDR size. Imagine having that kind of canvas real estate in an all-in-one body. It would be absolutely immersive. But the size isn't the only upgrade. We are expecting this display to feature promotion technology. If you have used a MacBook Pro or an iPad Pro recently, you know that once you go 120 Hz, you cannot go back to 60 Hz. It makes everything feel fluid and instant. The current Studio Display is great, but it is stuck at 60 Hz, which for a Pro product in the modern era is a bit of a letdown. This new iMac Pro would fix that. As for the panel technology, there is a debate between OLED and Mini LED. While we would all love to see a crisp OLED panel, the reality of manufacturing costs suggests Apple will likely stick with Mini LED for this generation. Mini LED is fantastic. It gives you those deep, inky blacks and blindingly bright highlights for HDR work, but it doesn't suffer from the burn-in risks of OLED, which is crucial for a desktop computer where menu bars sit in the same spot for 12 hours a day. Plus, keeping it Mini LED helps keep the price from spiraling into the stratosphere. Although, as we will discuss later, this thing is not going to be cheap. So, picture a 32-inch, 120 Hz Mini LED canvas sitting on your desk. That alone is enough to make most creatives start saving money right now. Design-wise, Apple tends to stick with what works, but they also need to accommodate the physics of high-performance computing. We expect the design language to borrow heavily from the current 24-inch iMac, which is undeniably sleek. It will likely keep that incredible single-cable setup. This is one of the most underrated features of the modern iMac. You have one magnetic cable that handles power and Ethernet, meaning your desk looks impossibly clean. You have a wireless keyboard, a wireless mouse, and just one cord trailing away. For minimalists, this is heaven. However, don't expect it to be razor thin like the M3 iMac. The reason is the M5 Max chip. While Apple Silicon is efficient, the Mac series chips generate heat when they are pushed to their limits. If you're rendering 8K video or doing complex 3D simulations, that chip needs to breathe. So, this new iMac Pro will likely be thicker, possibly bringing back a slight curve to the back or just a deeper chassis to house a serious cooling system. We might even see the vapor chamber technology Apple has used in other high-end devices to keep the system silent while it's crunching numbers. On the back, we are expecting a port selection that actually deserves the name Pro. The current consumer iMac is stingy with ports, but this beast is rumored to have up to 6 USB-C ports and, crucially, support for Thunderbolt 5. Thunderbolt 5 is a game-changer for bandwidth, allowing for insanely fast transfer speeds to external RAID arrays and support for even more high-resolution external displays if 32 inches somehow isn't enough for you. Let's dive deeper into the engine room. The M5 Max. By 2026, the M-series chips will have matured even further. We are already seeing what the M3 and M4 can do, and they are incredible. The M5 Max will likely be built on an even more advanced manufacturing process, offering efficiency gains that are hard to comprehend right now. We are talking about a chip that could probably outperform the current Mac Pro Tower for a fraction of the power consumption. But here is an interesting question. Will we see an M5 Ultra in an iMac? Probably not. The Ultra chips are essentially two Max chips fused together, and they require a massive amount of cooling and power. Putting that inside a screen enclosure is a thermal nightmare and would drive the price up to a level that just doesn't make sense. The M5 Max is a sweet spot. It offers enough power for 99% of professional workflows without melting the chassis. There's also chatter about the M5 Pro chip. It is possible that Apple might update the smaller 24-inch iMac with an M5 Pro to bridge the gap, or perhaps offer an entry-level version of this big iMac with the Pro chip to make it slightly more affordable. But if you want the full experience, the M5 Max is going to be the one to get. This brings us to a major shift in Apple's strategy. What happens to the Mac Pro? You know, the cheese grater tower. To be honest, the Mac Pro has been in a weird spot since the transition to Apple Silicon. The M2 Ultra Mac Pro didn't sell well because the Mac Studio offered the exact same performance for thousands of dollars less. You were paying a huge premium just for PCIe slots that most people didn't need anymore. There are rumors that Apple might actually shelf the Mac Pro entirely. If they cancel the tower, the iMac Pro becomes the undisputed king of the desktop lineup alongside the Mac Studio. It simplifies the choice for consumers. If you want a modular desktop where you bring your own screen, you buy the Mac Studio. If you want the ultimate all-in-one experience, you buy the iMac Pro. It makes the lineup cleaner and arguably stronger. Calling it the iMac Pro, again, just feels right. It signals to the buyer that this isn't for browsing the web or writing emails. This is a machine for creating the content that the rest of the world consumes. Now, the hard part, the price and the release date. If you are excited, you need to temper that excitement with patience. The leaks point to a summer 2026 release, likely at WWDC. This is traditionally when Apple likes to show off its Pro hardware because the audience is full of developers and creators who actually use this stuff. It also lines up with the roadmap for the M5 chip cycle. But when it does arrive, it is going to cost you. Let's do the math. An M4 Mac Studio costs around $2,000. A Pro-level display costs at least $1,500 to $2,000. When you combine those into a premium integrated chassis with mini LED and promotion, you are not walking away with a cheap computer. We are estimating a starting price north of $3,500. It might even push closer to $4,000 for a decently spec model with upgraded RAM and storage. That sounds like a lot, and it is, but you have to compare it to the alternative. If you bought a Mac Studio and a Pro Display XDR right now, you're spending well over $6,000. So, in a weird way, $3,500 iMac Pro is actually a value proposition for the high-end market. It gives you flagship performance and a flagship screen in a package that is easy to set up and beautiful to look at. In my opinion, this product is essential. The gap in a market left by the departure of the 27-inch iMac has been felt by everyone. Not everyone wants a separate box and a mess of cables. There is something inspiring about sitting down in front of a clean, large glass panel that contains your entire digital world. It focuses you. If Apple executes this correctly, if they give us the 32-inch screen, the 120 Hz refresh rate, and the cooling to let the M5 Max fly, this will be the best computer they have ever made. It will reclaim the throne that the old 27-inch iMac held for a decade. The wait until 2026 is going to be painful, but if these specs are accurate, it is going to be worth every single second. This is the machine that brings the soul back to the Mac desktop lineup. So, that is the lowdown on the beast that is coming in 2026. It is big, it is powerful, and it is the return of a legend. But I want to know what you think. Is 32 inches too big, or is it just right? And is $3,500 too much, or would you pay it to get that all-in-one perfection? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this deep dive and you want to stay updated on every single leak and rumor as we get closer to the launch, make sure you smash that subscribe button, share this video with your fellow Apple fans, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. I'll see you in the next one.